Welcome to another very exciting edition of the James and Mittens Show. I have no idea where Mittens is. That cat. I don't know, that cat's a weird cat, probably sleeping. I always think of that quote from Fleur. What's her name? Flora. Or was her name? Flora. In Bly Manor, where she says, "I don't like this game." And it makes sense when you see the whole thing. I don't like this game. Because that's how I feel about being tired, and when it's the result of choices I make. I don't like this game. Because that's one of the things I probably dislike the most, is just feeling that tired. I mean, it's not so bad when you're so tired and you just think, oh, I'm just going to get to, and you can sleep when you want to sleep, but like, I don't always have that option. And yeah, 2 days ago, I was just miserably tired. I got through it. I mean, it didn't kill me. Although, we'll say, you would die from lack of sleep before you would die from lack of food. Isn't that kind of weird? You need sleep more than you need food. Eventually, both would kill you. Food would kill you too, but you can go a lot longer. It's just insane. Water, yeah, for a couple days. I don't know. I mean, the water thing is, I think they say 3 days, but I'm not going to push it. I mean, I'm just curious about it, but I would never. I don't have any desire to push myself with water. A dry fast just seems to me stupid, just pointless, totally pointless. Because, yeah. Anyway, but I did get sleep. I guess the point, James, is I did get sleep, and I am now well rested. I think I got plenty. I didn't sleep like great. Like, I wake up a lot. Usually I wake up a lot when I got flights where I just the mental alarm clock is just hitting. Just panicking, but I did wake up a lot, and but I got like periods of sleep I think that were decent, and I just pushed as long as possible. Didn't even use my earbuds, which I often use when other people are in the house. If I'm in a place with other people, I can hear talking, dishes, noise. Yeah, I will sleep. Well, I'm going to get through this thing pretty quickly. I don't want this to be to 15 minutes. But weather is, it's cloudy and warm. It's still kind of warm. And I can see, when you can just see the clouds just kind of moving, entire formations moving like that, you just know weather is coming. And I think it is. I'm sure we're going to have another storm. And those are kind of nice, actually. I mean, the thunder and lightning. It's odd they call it thunderstorms, but not really lightning storms. Maybe they do call it lightning storms sometimes, too. But I often just hear thunderstorms. But really, you can't have one without the other, right? Think. Yeah, that makes sense. But I think it's another storm coming, and to me, it seems cool. That's like all that free watering. I don't know. I just think of the benefits of it. It's like, man, you're getting like a free watering for the day, so that's cool. And we talked about it online about watering, saving the water, and I tried that in Pleasanton too, like water barrels, because I knew the summer was coming, and I tried to conserve water because it seems a waste to let the water go. Oddly, for a while, California was one of those states that you weren't allowed to save your rainwater. It was like the stupidest law, and it's just they finally, I think, got rid of that because you're in a drought and you're not even letting people save rainwater. It's like you'd rather just go to the ocean with it and like that. So they finally corrected that. So some laws they eventually do get around to correcting, not all. I get asked, of course, are you going to move here? I don't know. I mean, it's still exploratory stuff like that. I do have a much better idea. The same thing with Seattle is that when you travel to a place a lot, you really get a good idea, especially when you travel all year long. That helps. Like, that was one thing about going to Dallas. It's like, well, it's very, very uncomfortable in the summer, so could you stand it? I mean, it's very uncomfortable here, too, don't get me wrong. But these thunderstorms that come through help a lot because they instantly cool down the weather. And at one point, I went out in the rain because I was crazy, and I came back in and I'm freezing. It's it's so cold. I mean, the AC's on, the fan's blowing on me, I'm wet. But you can cool off with these storms. So, and it did get hot at periods in California. Just not very long, and not even every year. I mean, every year, you couldn't even count on it getting over 105, maybe 100, but 105, 110, those years were kind of rare. Maybe every 3 years. But there are things I consider here, is that, I mean, this area, and to be honest, of course, I like to move where I know people. It's hard for me to go to a new location where I don't know anybody. It's like, oh man, I gotta go be extroverted. But it's easier when you know people and stuff like that. I mean, having that just crutch. I mean, that on the other hand, you're less likely to go out and meet new people. But it's still. But you can also work with the people you know to go out and meet new people and do things like karaoke is one thing. It's an example of. It's easier to do karaoke with friends than go to karaoke by yourself. Although that's not ruled out, I probably could do that. And then you meet the other single karaoke people, like that common bond. So that's one thing. And I do think about the weather too. I mean, I don't want to have a house that gets blown over by a hurricane, although modern construction is a lot better. So there's those things to think about. But a roof, I don't know if any roof is really going to stand up to if you get hit directly. That can be kind of bad. So those things I think about. But I'm sure they've improved roofs over time. But those two, oh man, I couldn't read what I read, couldn't read what I wrote, read what I read. But anyway, the third thing is the beach. This area, I guess the biggest issue is it getting very crowded and the streets can get quite busy at certain parts during the day, but not that busy. When I say that busy, it's like busier than like nothing, but is it busier than, I don't know, trying to get into San Francisco in the morning? No, I mean, or like parts of Seattle on 5, I don't know, or LA, anywhere, probably not. I mean, those things are probably still worse than here. But I think people here are used to we're used to no traffic, and now we got some traffic. And then the same thing with even Boise's got some traffic in places, so it's not really possible to get traffic free anywhere. And the other thing, the beach was like what I mentioned. I like beaches, even though, especially here, I would be very cautious about, I wouldn't be surfing here. I couldn't go back to surfing. I don't know if they have a surf anywhere close to where this is at. But bugs, I don't like the bugs. I don't like the bite. So if I went to the beach, it's more to appreciate the scenery, but probably not get in the water that much. Or at least I would do it during a time when there's no bug. Like the middle of the day, we went to Siesta Beach. That was actually really nice to be in the water there. But I'm really cautious about the bugs now. And the thing is, the beach here is there's one main beach, and it's really can be hard to get to unless you just go toward at a time when no one's going off season, or part of the day before people start going out there. It's like going to Santa Cruz, I guess. So what am I saying? It's like. Is it really? I mean, and it is a beach in Seattle. I mean, there are places in the water, Elliott Bay, but it's not really. It's not the same. And I don't know if I'd swim out there. So, and it's an interesting thing because I think with the people, I think people here are fine. I think a lot of people they think, oh, Florida. It's but the people, why? Because you see stuff in the news, and that's just a common thing for people that have never traveled to a place much or are just so limited in their mindset. I think it's people just saying oh, San Francisco, it's oh, I don't want to be around those people, or Seattle, I don't want to be those people. In New York, it's it's the same thing. If someone says, I don't want to be around, I mean, it's a political thing. I don't want to be around the, right-wing people. I don't want to be around left-wing people. It's you're around people. I mean, you don't have to agree politically on everything, because I don't know, I don't have any political talks here at all. I mean, unless it's people I know really well. But I don't go to a bar and all of a sudden it's going to be political. It's other things. So, I don't know. There's things that unify people that we all agree on. And just to get stuck and focused on the stuff we don't like, it's very narrow. I think it's narrow-minded. So, the people don't, I mean, that was the same thing. I went to Seattle. I don't agree with a lot of things people do there, but it doesn't mean I can't get along with people or be friendly or be friends. I mean, I can. You just don't have to agree on everything, and it's best if you know the people you can trust and talk to and have, intelligent conversations. And sometimes when people are too far left or right, you can't have that anymore, and it's just pointless to talk to them about anything, really. But not everyone's like that. And it's the same thing with California. That's just the one thing that kind of frustrates. I left. But a lot of people leave just because, it's lost. It's you shouldn't have to abandon it. It's your state. It's your state too. I mean, when it comes to now it comes to prices, that really can't be fixed. I mean, it's just supply and demand, and you're not going to make demand go down. So if someone leaves for costs, it's that's totally understandable. If someone leaves for political reasons, I just kind of think, oh man, well, why can't we retake the state or get the state back to at least neutral instead of leaning way too far one direction? It just seems a shame to like kind of give up. It's like it's our state. Like, why should we leave? Why can't we? It always sounds like January 6th talking about stuff like that, but it's not. I mean, it's doing through voting and through educating other people or like kind of enlightening them, whatever. It's like it doesn't have to be through armed uprisings. It's civil. It's done through civil means. That's what we need to encourage people to do. So when it comes in, there are things that unify people, like crime. We all want crime to go down. I don't think anyone far or any direction wants crime to go up or doesn't care. We don't want crime. It's just how we do it. And that we do it, I think sometimes people see the other side as apathetic. I mean, we really see the left as apathetic. Come on, be honest. In as far as, well, if we're just, nurturing approach, or if we're kind to people, they'll stop doing crimes. Like, I'm not sure that's working. So that's something I just totally disagree on. We just can't be soft on crime, and yet some people think that way works. Or too tolerant for homelessness. I mean, you can't expect it to go away if you outlaw it, but you also got to balance it between, but if you have a private business or a business, it's not good to have someone sleeping in front of your business right outside. I mean, there's got to be limits. It doesn't mean they can't sleep anywhere. And you can say, I can't sleep anywhere publicly. Well, that's going to be a problem because where are they going to go? They just don't disappear. But there's got to be limits. It's like, okay, well, we can't. You have to have the right to run your business and have people come in. Otherwise, the business is closed, and then the cities suffer because you can't open a business, and your downtown has no downtown. Your downtown can't survive. You can't survive on homelessness because there's no taxes coming in. Not to be callous, but just to be honest. So there are things in California divide. People want freedom. I don't know. We can get into that all day. All right. Anyway, moving on. Texas is still... still dealing with stuff like that. Hopefully, we're getting close to the end as far as massive expenses. One just popped up yesterday. More painting, and it had to be done. It wasn't like, I kind of like, it bugs me, kind of like, and the people don't bug me that say it. They're being honest, but it's just the fact that it needs to be done is sometimes disheartening. I'm like, wish more money spending in. I don't want to spend any more money, but come this far, you got to go the whole way. It's like, at the very beginning, maybe I could have sold as is. I still would have probably lost a lot of money compared to fixing it up. But once you come this far, you can't just stop. So, and there are limits. I don't go crazy, but stuff like coming in. The solution is just to slowly accept things, maybe denial at first, but to kind of okay, fine, agree, and then let it not fester, but kind of just start to give it some time to accept it, even talk about it, vent frustrations at it, but just at the end, kind of just say, okay, all right, we're doing that, and know that the money's coming back when it sells. So it's just it's just hard to spend, kind of, I don't want to say liberally, but kind of, or excessively, but spend a lot. When you're just used to trying to that's why I do get second bids, whatever. If the first bid's especially high, and even if it's maybe that's a fair bid, I don't know. I will just say, nope, we're gonna get a second, we're gonna get a third, because I gotta know. If I did a first and realized, man, I just threw away a couple $1,000s because I couldn't even get a second bid, that would bug me a lot. Even if I get the money back, it still bug me a lot. That's Texas. So I'm just I turn off my phone, or I go to silent mode or do not disturb for sleep, because that's the worst thing in the morning, I think, waking up to a text message saying you need to spend $5,000 more. Like, I don't want that anymore. So I do keep my phone on silent, do not disturb until I wake up. And that's just a wise thing for anyone to do. I think, say, well, with an emergency, we also got by for how many millions of years, whatever. We survived a long time without having a phone wake us up at 6 a.m. to something. It doesn't happen so much out here because I'm on the East Coast time now, so that no one's really, ahead of me time-wise that I know. It's not like I get stuff from London. But when you're on the West Coast, you might get stuff from Texas or Florida or New York, whatever. I might get stuff that kind of wakes me up. So keep the phone on silent, and that helps so much, or do not disturb. That is such a smart thing to do. It just can ruin your day, not ruin your whole day, but ruin your morning or interfere with your morning, your rest, your kind of rehabilitating for the night before when you cannot get sleep. So Show is tonight. Moving on. The show is tonight, the second show, which is a different show, so another script to memorize. But this one I've done for many years. Kind of switch between two characters, like the good guy and the bad guy, even though it's a wedding, but it's a good guy and bad guy situation. They're both, I'd say this one's a fewer lines, but I'm in more scenes. But it'll be fun, and it's a lot closer, because that drive to Naples, I mean, it was also in the back seat, kind of like cramped and so tired and uncomfortable. I've been sitting on a plane for many, many hours, and then to suffer hours in a car. That was uncomfortable, so the first show, the show was great. Being on the boat, and it was beautiful, and the sunset, and the people were cool. Noise, so it was hard to be heard, I think, for everybody on the boat. The microphone situation we're working on. But getting there was tough, and coming home, that was tough. But we'll have a show tonight, much closer. I guess that's the bottom line. And then Florida, what do I say? Friday. It's an F, Friday. Friday we'll be just relaxing and just doing fun stuff, and maybe visiting some places we've seen. Maybe go for a hike. I haven't done that in a while. I can send my drone up. I brought it. Might as well get it up in the air. Although I missed a good sunset last night, just barely. If I had gotten out the door earlier, I could have seen it. I don't know why. I guess the sunset's over there, and our patio kind of is there. Our patio, their patio. It's not mine. And then Sunday I have a flight home very early morning, so it'll be done. And then I'll just have to start thinking about the next trip, which is California. But as I said in the very beginning, I don't like this game. It's not traveling I don't like, it's just being so tired. So I just got a plan. And it's the flying out and flying back. And it's like just not getting enough sleep. Thought I heard thunder. Is it coming? The red-eye situation, I don't sleep that well on planes, and if I don't do a show that night, it would have been fine. I could have get picked up, come here, and then just taken like a 4-hour nap and be caught up to some degree. But if you have the show, I mean, I literally got picked up from the airport and went straight to the show. Didn't even have any time, and you sleep in the car, no, not really. And then we went out for food, so there was just no time to sleep. But and I had a little bit on the plane. It wasn't 0, but it just wasn't 8. So I have to make sure I plan better so I don't have that. Or even if I have a flight and then a pickup and then straight to a show, hopefully the show won't be an hour and a half away. That's the thing too. Extended sitting, and putting the back seat of the car is no bigger really than the plane. So front seat would probably be better, but somebody taller than me had that. So that got to be fair. Anyway, that's better planning. Okay, well, this has gone on probably 12 minutes. I don't know. So having my morning coffee and a lot of energy, which I like. I like having energy. And then I'll study some script for a while and catch up on some emails. I brought my laptop, so I can do that. And then we'll go to the show this afternoon and have another fun one. And maybe even a rehearsal tonight. Yeah, never ends. But that's it for now. Cheers. And I gotta stand up and walk all the way around the table and turn off the camera and get to see how many minutes I used. How many minutes did you use, James? I don't know. It doesn't show. Oh my gosh, this is a big one.